Okay, according to YouTube, I'm currently live for the first time in a while. So I will just see if anyone's actually going to join and watch, whatever. Yeah, I'm just basically thought I'd have a bit of a play around with live streaming again just before Flux airs tonight, obviously in about an hour or so. See if anyone joins. I'm currently just trying to find the URL for this video because it has been a while since I last did this, so a bit rusty. Let's just see if I can find it. If anyone is in the chats, please let me know. Quantum Visuals, hello back to you, Quantum Visuals. So it's basically just going to be a sort of pre-flux sort of thing. Maybe sort of doing a bit of last minute speculation and predictions and that sort of stuff, depending on sort of how many people join and what people want to see, really. I mean, put your thoughts in the comments if there's anything in particular that you'd like to see me talk about or whatever. Mr. TARDIS, hello. Cool. So I'm still trying to find the link to this, just bear with me. I might then be able to share it around and stuff. I hope everything's working, the settings and stuff. I think I found the link. There we go. I can see some more messages now. We have Simon David, 2 million like head. Hi, bonjour, fantastic. So, let's get right to it, I guess, with some Fluxy stuff. So, I think that's worked. I've got a window here of the internet, Google, and I don't know, let's just look at some of the promo pics, whatever, for tonight and see what we think of them. In fact, they're not on this website yet, are they? For some reason, they're not on Section of Randomness. They're on the Black Archive, though, so let's go there. Look at the galleries. I'll try and stay up to date with what's going on in the chats as well. But that might be difficult. I'll just keep flicking back and forth. So, where are we? Jodie Whittaker, 13th Doctor, Series 13. Survivors of the Flux. Okie dokie, let's close that tab. So, episode stills. So, first of all, we have our Ood. If it'll load. Come on. Is the Ood going to load? We've got a bit of his head. Sort of egg head there. God, this is embarrassing. Is he going to load? Right, come on. Tom is live. Hi, Richard. Excited for tonight's episode? Yes, I'm very excited for tonight's episode. Very, very excited. I think some stuff's going to go down. Big stuff sort of just before the finale, obviously to set us up for next week. So it's going to be big. It's going to be big. We've got Kate Stewart to look forward to. We've got this guy to look forward to now that he's loaded, the Ood. So, yeah, what can we say about him? Or I don't know, I don't assume his gender, or its gender. It's an Ood. Ood agendaless, I guess. But great to see them back again. Not clear whether this is just going to be like one Ood or a whole sort of bunch of them. But yeah, I think it is fairly safe to assume that this is like the servant of Aswok or whatever. That's fair to assume, I think. So yeah, we have an Ood. Very much looking forward to seeing them again. They sort of last appeared, I think, they appeared in Revolution of the Daleks, didn't they, in the prison? I think there was an Ood there. And then other little bits and pieces and cameos and stuff. But the last proper Ood story, I guess, was Planet of the Ood back in 2008, which is mad. We've also got Swarm and Azure. If that one will load. Here they are. That picture that was released a while back. Well, both these photos were released a while back, actually. And yeah, this was the very first thing we saw of them. Actually, I'll just talk as it continues to load. But yeah, the very first thing we saw of them, which ironically wasn't actually from episode 1, it was from episode 5, by the looks of things. And this as well, I remember seeing a photo from filming way back, start of this year sometime, I guess, March, maybe April, from Neath Abbey, which is a place in Wales which Doctor Who has used before. And that obelisk thing, I don't know if you can see in the background, the sort of triangular, pointy, lit up blue thing that's also in some of the other pictures as well. That was there, and someone kind of snapped a photo of that amongst the stone and the walls and stuff, and said, I've overheard there's going to be some big scenes being shot today or tonight, whenever it's going to be. So it's always nice to sort of get a bit of context for stuff that we saw at filming, and to work out what's going on. And presumably that's going to be to do with the time force, I guess, building and growing and all that sort of stuff. Their plan reaching fruition, so that's great to see. What else have we got? We've got Dan with his torch. Gosh, that one loaded very quickly. That was nice. I just checked the chat as well. Jack Body, hello. Hi, Richard. How's it going? Very well, thank you. Very well. Very excited for tonight. Just looking through some promo pics and stuff and having a bit of a test stream to sort of get back into streaming again, perhaps. Because I haven't done this for a while. So, I think this is going to be something to do with Joseph Williamson and his tunnels, obviously. He's holding one of those sort of period like candlelight things, whatever they are, torches, which I think we've seen Williamson himself hold one of as well. So that's very nice. I'll skip ahead to this photo as well. I think this is going to be the moment where they come across Williamson. They're obviously in the Williamson tunnels by this point. How they're going to get there, I mean, who knows, because obviously they're in 1904. Williamson is in 1820. So I'm thinking either they get sent back in time or travel back in time to 1820, maybe by a weeping angel, maybe by some other means, or Williamson sort of travels forward. Perhaps the tunnels that he's built back in 1820, perhaps that's some sort of bubble sort of outside of time and space, which is unaffected by the passage of time. Perhaps he sort of goes into there to hibernate, and then he's still there in 1904, whatever it is, and the present day as well, whatever. He sort of stays there as time changes around him, and that would explain how he was able to be in this time period and meet Yaz and Dan and Jericho, but without having sort of aged or anything. Because obviously, in real life, Williamson was dead by this point. Reese says, is it just me, or does Yaz's hats look superimposed in that pic? I see what you mean. It's probably just sort of weirdly balanced. But of course, as well on the subject of these outfits, for all three of these actually, we first saw these outfits, we saw them a couple of times back in filming. I think firstly at St George's Hall in Liverpool. Again, it's unclear whether that's going to be appearing as itself or some other location, sort of doubling as some other location. Because by the looks of things, like they're going to be travelling a bit around the world, I think. That temple that they visit in the promo pics and the trailer footage. I don't think that'll be in the UK. I think that'll be further afield. So who knows what that's all going to be about. But yeah, we saw those outfits. We also saw them wearing those outfits around Cardiff Castle, I believe, a few weeks later. And Dan had a beard as well, which is interesting. Sort of suggests a passage of time or something, I suppose. Maybe they've been taken prisoner and he's not been able to shave or something. I don't know. So yeah, they're going to be going on adventures and coming across Williamson eventually as well. Let's just sort of skip ahead a little bit. We've got these photos of Yaz, if they're going to load, and Jericho and Dan in this sort of temple pyramid space, whatever. So yeah, as I say, I guess that's going to be not in the UK. It's going to be in a different country. The Chibnall era loves to do all this sort of globe trotting, doesn't it? So wherever this is going to be, I have no idea, but who knows? And Yaz seems to be sort of inspecting the stuff on this sort of stone altar or something. It's all sort of slightly Aztec-y, slightly Egyptian-y perhaps. And here she looks perfectly fine and perfectly calm. And then this image here, pardon me, she looks very worried all of a sudden. So, don't know what's changed there. Don't know what she's discovered, what she's spotted that maybe she didn't spot straight away. And Jericho's there obviously as well, and they sort of get lowered down into this space. Obviously, we saw that in the very first trailer where Dan was sort of lowered down. And she said, hiya, and he sort of landed in the background and nearly landed straight onto the floor, but didn't quite. So stuff going on there. And then we also got shots of them in this other space, which again looks sort of vaguely, sort of like Oriental perhaps, or Egyptian, or I'm not quite sure. They're sort of passing in the background of sort of stars and... Oh, lost it, of stars and stuff, and these fabrics that are hanging. It doesn't look very, very UK to me, and obviously still in the past. So I guess this could be a space they go to either before or after going to that temple. Maybe it's sort of where they're staying the night, because there was a shot in the trailer of them sort of walking with sticks like old men and old women, like old walkers and hikers, sort of traversing this landscape, which looks sort of quite hilly and mountainy. I mean, again, that's probably somewhere abroad, I think. Nothing to confirm that, but it's just speculation. And there's a shot from one of the trailers where there's a thing of dynamite, a stick of dynamite that's sort of sparking off. I believe that's what Yaz will be looking at here in this moment. I think that's safe to say. So clearly someone's on their trail, I think, and trying to, scupper their plans. Sorry, not Scarpa. They're going to have Scarpa though to escape. But not quite sure what's going on there. I think the only other shot we have of them is this shot, which looks like a sort of booby trap sort of thing, where Dan has obviously appeared in this temple space. He's been lowered down, and this sort of stick or spear or whatever has propped out of the wall in front of him, presumably, or I don't know, maybe it was already there, but it looks like it could have been like a sort of thing that sort of fires out to stop intruders from discovering this strange temple's secrets. So let's just look at the chat, which I've neglected of late. We have Lewis Frisbee, hello. We have Doxu Home, hello. J Dragon Arc Productions, sorry, hello. Whose hand is that at the bottom? Which photo was that in? Let me know and I'll go back to it. Lewis Frisbee, what are your thoughts on the poster for the New Year's Day special? Let's pull that up if I can find it. Let's think, where am I going to find that? Probably on the official website, I guess. Here we go. So, what are my thoughts on this? Well, I'm going to do a video on it probably, once Flux is finished, sort of everything we know so far about the New Year's Day special. But yeah, we've got a TARDIS that's sort of cracked, looking in a bad way. Some people have speculated that this perhaps could be the TARDIS that the Daleks were trapped inside in Revolution of the Daleks right at the end. I think that's a fair idea. The only thing is that TARDIS was sort of expelled into the void, I think, and sort of shrunk down, obviously. But then again, it could have found its way back. This whole thing in the synopsis about a storage unit. I wonder whether the TARDIS could have found its way into that storage unit, and then that's where the Daleks are sort of escaping from a TARDIS within that storage unit. So perhaps that's what we're seeing here. Or perhaps it's just, the damage sustained to the TARDIS that we've seen so far in Flux, perhaps. Just beg the question, what's going to happen? How are they going to get about in the three specials if the TARDIS is still in a bad way? I guess, is it going to sort of slowly lose all its powers and abilities and, I don't know, be able to only transport them short distances or something? What's the sort of side effect going to be of the TARDIS sort of, getting very damaged and Flux affected? So that's what I think of it. We'll come back to that in another video, I think. But let me just check the chats. We have RT2000. Fingers crossed that we hear some more of that Division theme. Oh gosh, yes. I love that last week when the Division theme came back. Oh, that's amazing. So if you don't know, the Division theme, it was first used in Fugitive of the Jadoon, sort of when Gat appeared, like this sort of low, rising motif, very sort of low and played on string instruments and stuff. So it was used like whenever she was on screen. And then it came back for the Division sort of flashback scene in The Timeless Children. And that track was actually released on the Series 12 soundtrack as sort of The Division, I believe it's called, that track. And then it came back again last week. I was expecting it to be in this series at some point. And it was finally there last week, which was great. In the scene where the Doctor gets turned into a weeping angel and recalled to Division, obviously. And And yeah, we got that sort of minor version of 13's theme over the top, and then underneath it, if you listen carefully, you do get that sort of low rendition of the Division theme, just rising up, sort of chromatic rising pattern, 4 notes or so, I think it is. Very, very nice. So yeah, I mean, we're sort of bound to hear more of that again tonight, I guess, if it's going to be more Division shenanigans going on. So that's very exciting. But let's just see what else is going on in the chats. We have got, J Dragon Arc Productions. I'm wondering if we're going to get an opening theme without the bass line. That is something I hadn't thought of, but that would be really cool. Yeah, again, that's one of the things I loved last week, again, musically from the episode score, was that unique end credits theme. So spooky, so reminiscent of, the original theme from 1963. Just hearing the top line of it by itself is something we've never heard before, really, within the show. So that was really great to hear, and really eerie, and just really unique, a really unique sounding sound. So, pardon me, that was really nice. What else have we got here? Jack Body, there's the superimposed hat again. Yep. Adam the Ultimate Hoovian, great scarf, Richard. Thank you very much. Yeah, I basically, the story with this scarf, obviously it's been very cold in various parts of the UK today, and I went to go and take some photos outside in the snow of Ood Sigma. Didn't wear my scarf, so basically ever since I've got back inside, I've been wearing the scarf to sort of compensate. But yeah, thankfully I've not got pneumonia or anything just yet. Philip Hawkins, hello. We have a hand. Okay, so we have the hand in the first image of Yaz on the stone altar. Oh, I see. Oh, I hadn't spotted that. I mean, I think that's just a crew member holding a walkie-talkie. Wow, I cannot believe I hadn't spotted that before. But, yeah, I don't think that's going to be anything more than that, to be honest. But who knows? Let's just see. Clacker the Geek. Hello, lovely to have you with us. And great that you're going to be able to watch the episode live. Yes, the decoy TARDIS. Oh, so Jeevan John, I think that's how you say that, thinks we could be getting another black and white rendition of the TARDIS, or a modernised version of the 1963 ones, which again, hadn't thought of, but that'd be really great. But whatever the case, I think actually that this idea of them sort of continuing on this baseline, less theme tune or whatever, that sort of stylistic thing, into the start of this story, is a great idea. To continue that idea of the Doctor being separated from us and not not being okay and not being in good health and all that sort of stuff, and the universe sort of suffering as a consequence. I suppose that's a nice way to sort of symbolise that. I mean, maybe they're going to pull that stunt on us again where we have no opening titles. I hadn't thought of this, I'm just spitballing, but yeah, now that people have said that, it kind of seems a bit more realistic to me. They might go down that route. Perhaps, so you never know. Mr. Beans, 5 hours ahead. Alright, you're watching from a different country, different time zone. Oh, goodness. Yeah, so in the UK, it's like exactly an hour at this very moment. Exactly an hour until the episode, because it's at 6:25. It is, yeah. Just checking that. 50 minutes long. It's got all these lovely people in it. I mean, I guess we could just sort of cover the cast list very briefly as well, which is something I haven't done on the main channel so far this week. So we have obviously a lot of recurring characters there. I'm going to zoom that in a little bit. Is that going to work? Maybe not. I don't know. Okay, we'll leave it as it was. So I think the only sort of 3 things to discuss here maybe are, number 1, this new character played by Robert Bathurst, who is, I believe, the last of that sort of initial batch of guest stars that was announced. We've had all of them, so far to this point, and he's the last one on that list of announced guest stars. and he's playing Farquhar or something like that, or General Farquhar. I think I've seen him called a general or something. Some army dude basically. We've seen him in the trailers in that uniform and stuff. He is that guy that says very odd or something along those lines. We have oh, hang on a minute. Barbara Flynn as Orsock. Have I been saying that wrong all this time? I thought it was Aswok. Is it Orsock? Of course, she's not in the cast list for that one, is she? Is it Orsock or is it Aswok? Because I thought there was a whole thing with her about it being like Dan's Wok, as in wok. Or if they just changed it specifically for that credit. Or is it a typo? It could be a typo, I suppose. Let's take to Google to find out. Orsock. Okay, so maybe it is Orsock. Right, okay. I think it probably is. That's embarrassing. But then, and some people have got it down as Aswok. Which doesn't make much sense, does it? Tell me in the chats, is it Orsock or Aswok? Because that just blown my mind a bit. Because Cultbox there has got it down as Aswok. Blogs to Who's got it down as Aswok there. The Series 13 wiki. Let's check what they've got. Hold on. They've got it down as Orsock. Has that changed then? Because I swear when she was originally announced on whichever cast list it was in the Radio Times or whatever, she was called Aswok. Because there was that whole thing, wasn't there, of her playing Dan's Wok. Barbara Flynn, Aswok. It's Orsock. Okay. Bizarre. I don't know why I got that idea into my head. Well, I do, probably because I've seen it misspelt by other people. But, and there as well, I got it down as Aswok, and, intriguing. Oh, there's my stream. Oh, God. Okay, so that's what comes up if you type in Orsock. Yeah, so some people have listed it as Aswok. This is very confusing. Anyway, perhaps there's just been mass confusion due to the fact that she's not actually been sort of officially announced as or whatever. So, some people put it one way and some people have spelled it the other way. Okay, we'll see. Who have we got? Mandela effect. So J Dragonite Productions thinks it's Orsock. Draw with Cameron Smith says Orsock as well. Lots of people have been getting it wrong. Okay. Dr. Master Aswok. Yeah. Oh, and there's the stream. Yeah. So where was I? I was on the cast list. We've got Farquhar, however you say that. We've got Orsock, apparently. And then Craig Parkinson, not only playing the Grand Serpent, but also Prentice. So is this some sort of alias of the Grand Serpent? Or is Grand Serpent an alias of Prentice? What's going on there? I did Google, do it again now, just like the origin of the name Prentice. And it's to do with, being an apprentice. As, you might expect, as you might guess from the sound of that word. That's what it derives from. So, is there any significance to that or not? There could be, there could not, because, we've had that whole thing in War of Sontarans where everyone was sort of going mad, including myself, over this sort of Greek mythology links, the Mori and Atropos, which are real things or based on real things, and the connection there was only very, very vague in the final episode. So this could mean something, it could mean nothing, to be honest. But what we do know is that Craig Parkinson's character has two names in this episode for whatever reason. So either the Grand Serpent is going undercover as Prentice, Or all along, the Grand Serpent has been Prentice undercover. Perhaps that's a bigger character, Prentice. Let's see what the chat have got to say about that one. We have got some stuff about Unit being back. Hello, Tom Mason. We've got Dr. Master talking about the badge that the 13 is wearing in that promo pic. I'll get onto that in a bit, maybe. We have got... Quantum Visuals says it is Orsock. Reese says it's Orsock. Evil Dan says as Wok. In the credit, okay, so in the credits for Once Upon a Time, it's Orsock. Right, okay. Yeah, 2 Million Like Cad is still sad that she's not playing a sentient version of Dan's Wok. I agree. So hello to Chris Campling, hello to Ian Graham. Evil Dan and Evil Wok, the ultimate duo of evil. Azure and Swarm have nothing on them. That's from Jack Body. Very good. Okie dokie. So that's cast listy stuff. That was the New Year's stuff. So, anything else we can glean from the promo pics? We've been through the stuff set in the past. We have been through basically all this stuff with Swarm and Azure. That's that obelisk again in the background that was spotted at filming. I mean, I can probably find that now if I just type in Neath Abbey Doctor Who Series 13 filming. That'll probably come up somewhere. Okay, it's not come up straight away. Although there is that interesting image there. Don't know if that's from tonight or from next week, but there was this image that was doing the rounds back in April, I think, of 2 aliens with the Doctor outside one of the government buildings in Cardiff. And obviously now we know that to be Swarm and Azure. So very nice. I think I spotted the link, though, here. Have I passed it? No. There we go. That was the image. And if you can just see there, that's the obelisk. It was the confused adipose that broke this story, I think. Yeah, there we go. That is very clearly that thing there in the background. So, yeah, that's all the stuff there. We know Passenger's going to be involved as well. Diane is going to be in this episode as well, probably just as another sort of like hologram projection thing out of Passenger's chest, I guess. Vinda is going to find that space as well, that sort of lair, wherever that may be. So that's very nice. And then apart from that, we'll save the best till last. So let's go with the Lupari themed stuff first of all. So Belle is still in her ship. I don't know what she's going to be up to be honest. Is she going to go and track down Vinda some way? I mean, she missed out on the coordinates in his message, didn't she? No, that was him, other way around, sorry. Vinda missed out on Belle's coordinates. So, yeah, because last week it was sort of, she got there first, didn't she? And then Vinda was sort of following behind. Whereas this week, I don't know, is it going to be the other way around? Is it going to be like Vinda reaches the lair first and then she goes to find him there, or bumps into him there because she's been tracking down the passenger forms? Don't know. One image of her, not much else to go on. Let's just check the chats. Ian Graham, I know, yeah. Can't believe we only have 2 episodes left. This series has flown by. It certainly has. And Doctor Adventures are in the chat as well. Fantastic to have you with us. To anyone that's joined more recently, so we're just going through some last minute Survivors of the Flux themed stuff. First stream in a while, just trying to get back into it again. Maybe do more of these in the future. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I just thought, prior to the penultimate episode, when clearly so much is going to be set up for the finale, that it was just worth spitballing a few more theories and ideas. If there's ever going to be a good time to do it, it was going to be now. So, sticking with the theme of Lupari, we've got Carvanista back. Carvanista. Potato. So he's back on his ship. In the trailer, we see that he's got the shield is now breachable that's been protecting Earth. And there's a shot of a spaceship flying up. And I think that is Carvanista's spaceship. So I think he's had to leave the shield and go off and fight some other mission somewhere. In response to some bigger emergency that he's sort of duty bound to respond to. So either that, or just thinking now, we've got these images here, this image in particular, where he's sort of he looks to be like fighting back against some sort of intruder. These sparks here, someone or something has broken into his ship by the looks of things. So what is that going to be? Perhaps that's the reason why he has to retreat from the shield, I guess, maybe. I don't know what it's going to be, to be honest, because we've had like the Cybermen already on a Lupari ship in Once Upon a Time on Bell's Lupari ship. So it kind of puts me in mind of that. The first thing I think of when I see this image is, okay, Cybermen again. But I sort of hope it's not Cybermen again, at least at this particular point in this particular episode. I hope it's something different just for the sake of variety, really. I don't know, really. Daleks? Probably not. What else does that leave then? Sontarans? It could be Sontarans. That would be nice to sort of see the Sontarans on a Lupari ship, sort of merging those elements from the first 2 episodes together. That'd be quite nice. I'll be up for that. I mean, it could be Storm and Azure, but they look sort of preoccupied in the sort of Castle Abbey, whatever that planet is, with the obelisks. So, doubtful. I don't think it could be Passenger, because Passenger can't really do much apart from just like absorb people. He doesn't really fight much. So, who else does that leave from this series? I mean, Weeping Angels, it's not really their method of style, is it, to sort of throw sparks around the place? So, I don't know. I mean, it could be. But otherwise, I think I've gone through just about every monster from the series so far. It could be an Ood, I suppose. Let's just check what the chat are saying. Nathan, oh, hello. Hi. What have we got here? We have got a little theory about Bell and Vinder, which I won't go into right this moment, just because this series ends with Dan and Carvanista getting married, according to Dr. Master. Not quite sure about that, but who knows. We have Tom Mason. Will the specials continue the Flux story? I think it will, yeah. I think they will, to some extent, but don't know, really. We have got... Oh, that's an interesting one from J Dragon Art Productions. Maybe Division has recalled Carvanista. That would be pretty cool. I can sort of imagine that happening, because obviously we've seen Division soldiers or agents so far in this series in the first chapter when they're imprisoning Swarm, the Burnished Rage Battleground, I think it was called. So yeah, and they've got those props already. They've got the armour, they reused that in Once Upon a Time. They've got the guns, which they reused in Once Upon a Time as well. So maybe that's what's happening. That would be quite cool to see him recalled, because it would make sense, wouldn't it, I guess, if the Doctor has been recalled to Division, it would make sense for Carvanista to also have been recalled to Division. So yeah, I like the sound of that. We have Millsy Who. Do you think Carvanista will die? I hope not. Probably not tonight. Maybe next week. I don't know. There was a slight tangent here, but there was one post from the social media channels that was like, it was the photo of Belle that we've just looked at, and it was like, do you think is Belle gonna find Vinder before it's too late or something? And it was like, is Vinder gonna die? Like clearly, I don't know, that you read that into that, and it wasn't like saying that explicitly, but there was that sort of suggestion there that perhaps, is she going to get there, in time to find him still alive and well, or is something bad going to happen? Who knows? Dr. Master, if we don't get Kate and 13 in this episode, or 13 and Kate, I'm going to cry. So I don't think we are going to get 13 and Kate in this episode, unfortunately for you and unfortunately for everyone. Just because, think back to Captain Jack in Series 12, they dragged that out so much where basically, first of all in Fugitive, you had to meet the companions, then you had to meet the Doctor, like right at the end of that series or that set of episodes in Revolution of the Daleks. So I think this episode will just be about like re-establishing her as a character. And then maybe next week, or dare I say in one of the specials, that's when we're going to get the sort of encounter between her and the Doctor. Because they do love to drag stuff like that out and sort of have those near misses where, Captain Jack nearly meets the 13th Doctor, in Fugitive, but he just slightly misses out. So, yeah, I don't think we are going to get that, unfortunately. We have got comments about the Ood, comments about Strax, comments about Absorbloff. Passenger equals Absorbloff confirmed. Love it. Yeah, because he absorbs stuff. 2 Million Like Head thinks it's the Crotons that are going to attack Carvinista's ship, which is lovely. Very nice. We've got a theory about the Grand Serpents maybe working for the Division or against them. Yeah, well, maybe. I mean, the thing about the Grand Serpent is that he was introduced in Once Upon a Time as a sort of fairly one-note villain, let's be honest. Very clearly evil, very clearly a bad guy. And, you could have sort of just left him there as it was. His story was sort of complete in that episode, apart from the fact that he's not got his comeuppance, obviously, which I'm anticipating we're going to get sort of maybe next week, whatever. But, it is a bit odd how, as people have been saying, how he's going to be playing a bigger role in more episodes, this week and probably next week as well. I did read a slight spoiler somewhere. I don't know whether to say it on the stream. I'll keep sort of vague about it. Basically, I saw an article today that said he was going to be working with a certain race of aliens at some point in these final 2 episodes. I think that's sort of as much as I can say really without spoiling it. I mean, it wasn't a massive spoiler. You could probably guess who it might be. But yeah, apparently he's going to sort of get involved with some aliens. I mean, beyond that, what does he want? What is he up to? I guess, one thing they could expand upon is this whole thing that was established in that story in Once Upon a Time about him having this sort of rivalry with Frey Sampor, this character called Frey Sampor, a sort of fellow mafia boss or businessman or whatever, from the world that his world or his people were sort of helping to protect, or whichever way around that was, that sort of business deal they were making. So it could be based around that, and he's sort of taking advantage of the flux and all the other stuff going on to sort of further his own ends rather than a particular grievance against the Doctor, or Vinder or whatever. I mean, he has got a history with Vinder, so it would make sense for him to come up against Vinder at some point, maybe next week. But in this story, it looks like he's going to be up against units, which is interesting. Looking forward to that, because obviously that's the very sort of traditional unit thing of, unit going up against a villain. Like the Master. Obviously, the Master was the sort of first or the earliest or main, most iconic, let's say, villain that UNIT ever went up against in the classic series. So very similar sort of vein, very similar sort of thing going on here by the looks of things. There have been suggestions and theories that the Grand Serpent is the Master, but I don't know. We've got a Master. We've got Sasha. Unless they're going down the route of like pre-Delgado Masters or something curious, or having like multiple incarnations of the Master at once, which I wouldn't be totally against, if they wanted to do that. But let's just see what the chat's been saying recently. We've got Joe Martin. Yeah, Reese wants Joe Martin to have a good 10 minutes as the Doctor away from being in Jodie's shadow. I agree with that. it's always, this thing keeps buzzing about, sorry. It's always going to be a tricky balance with those two, you know, having two doctors on the go at once. There's always going to have to be like a discussion there about whether one of them was shadowing the other or vice versa. Overshadowing, sorry. I think definitely in Once Upon a Time we could have seen a bit more of Jo Martin, and it was a shame. But again, I think they're playing the long game here. I think it's a similar thing, you know, to Captain Jack in Series 12, where they sort of just tease you at that mid-season point, and then she's hopefully going to come back, you know, for a bigger role later in the series, you know, either this week or next week or in the specials or all three. So, yeah, it's not the end of the world, but at the same time, yeah, I do agree. And it's like, it's one of those things that they do need to do. They need to get her back and give her some meaty stuff to do. I mean, imagine seeing her go up against present day Swarm or up against the Division and really sort of coming back to bite them on the bum and, you know, get comeuppance on the Division for all the awful stuff they did to her, or depending on where that fits into her timeline, are about to do to her in her personal future, whichever way that works. But yeah, it would make a lot of sense for that to happen. I think I might just a minute, if I move this window, there we go, into that desktop, then that'll save all the sort of funny movements on this image of Carbonista that keep happening. So we have got Ian Graham. Do you think Unit will be back this week? Yes, Unit is definitely back this week, as evidenced by this image of Kate Stewart, who we've gone like a whole, however many minutes, 40 minutes we've been going for, a whole 40 minutes without mentioning her, which is pretty remarkable. She's back, which still doesn't feel real. And then, yeah, Unit as well, sort of new logo for them there. Whether or not Unit is going to be back in full force in this episode remains to be seen. Okay, you know, perhaps we're just going to see them sort of slowly re-establishing themselves, in this story before then having a bigger comeback, you know, in the specials or whatever. That would make sense. Again, that sort of Captain Jack technique of, we'll give you a little bit of it here, we'll tease you with this, we'll show you what you could have got, and then we'll wait a few episodes and then take that back until the finale, until the specials, whatever, and then give you a bit more. We have got draw with Cameron Smith. I just want the Division and pre-Hartnell incarnations to be clarified. Is that too much to ask? No, it's not too much to ask, really. But then they're always going to keep some sense of mystery around that, aren't they? You know, to be honest. Because they never want to sort of pin things down too much. They never want to sort of be too, sort of certain, I guess, about the Doctor's past and about lore and stuff and canon. Tom Mason is excited to see... Now, is it Aislingby? Is that how you say her name? This person that's going to be in the New Year episode, New Year special. Obviously, she's a comedian. I've seen her in bits and pieces here and there. And she's Irish, I believe. There's a big spin, actually, in the New Year special about Ireland, not Irish people. There's like 3 guest stars, I think, that have been announced, and like 2 of them are Irish. There's her, and there's the old woman from Father Ted. So what's going on there? We're going to sort of get a story that's set in Ireland or partially set in Ireland. Is it going to all tie back to the whole Gallifrey equals Ireland thing? Because of course, in this series, Belle, Thalia Graham, who plays Belle, she is from Ireland. She's got an Irish accent or dialect or whatever. So, well, which again would tie in, we're not going to go there now, but that would tie into the whole thing about her being the Doctor's mother, which has been suggested. Aisling B. Okay, Aisling B. Is that how you say it? That's what Reese thinks, so we'll stick with that for the moment. Doctor Master. Okay, think about it. Frey Sampor is totally River Song's alias. I mean, this is one thing that I was saying on Twitter. I wasn't saying that exact thing, but wouldn't it be pretty damn awesome if Frey Sampor, this rival of the Grand Serpent, who was mentioned offhand, just twice in Once Upon a Time, not Once Upon a Time, I'm getting mixed up with Twice Upon a Time. Wouldn't it be awesome if that character ended up being the Master, or some other villain or character here in disguise? Okay, it could still be the Sasha Master. It wouldn't require a new actor or anything, because obviously we've never seen Frey Sampor. We don't know what he looks like or what he's up to or anything about him really. But that would be a really cool twist. It reminds me of, well, obviously we had Professor Yana in Series 3, but also in a similar vein, there was a bit of speculation when Series 10 was out. I mean, I don't know if this was just me or anyone else was thinking this as well, but Bill's foster mum, whatever she was called, she kept mentioning that she'd got dates with Howard. She was going out to the bar and to the pub with Howard, a guy called Howard. And I thought to myself, okay, we know John Sims' Master is back in this series. Could that be him in disguise? And could he sort of be slowly infiltrating Bill's life just to mess with her and sort of dating her mother and stuff? And obviously that came to nothing. So, I don't know. I'm not getting my hopes up on that particular score, but at the same time, it would be a great twist if a little character like that has just been mentioned just in passing turned out to be really important, turned out to be the Master or something in disguise. That'd be pretty cool. Have a drink. We're going for nearly 50 minutes now. I think when it gets to about 6 o'clock, I will stop this just to give us some time to prepare for Survivors of the Flux, which is on in half an hour now. Very, very exciting. What have we got in the chat? We have got Doc's Master would like a whole episode of 13 as the Angel. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. It'd be interesting to see how they sort of explore that idea this week. We have got discussion about the unit Big Finish work. Yeah, so Tom Mason asks if that is canon, or if that's going to be made canon by Unit's appearance in this story. Yes, I mean, I think obviously canon is subjective and whatever, but that has sort of always been part of the canon basically. There's never been anything in that series that sort of contradicted Unit on TV. I've listened to the first 6 box sets, I believe, and it was always slightly confusing knowing whether those Big Finish Unit box sets were set, I don't know, they featured Osgood and Kate, but it was never made explicitly clear whether they were set, I don't know, before Dark Water, Death in Heaven, whether they were set during Series 9, because in the 6th box set they come across the Cybermen and the War Master, and it's like, have they already met these Cybermen in the Series 8 finale, or is this set before that? It wasn't quite made clear. So there's little niggles and things like that, but all in all, basically, yeah, those box sets have always been sort of part of the Unit canon. It'd be nice to think that they've sort of referenced them, I guess, in this story, but again, not holding out any hope for that, really. So, Doctor Who Mine Imitator, I think, Mine Imitator, says hello back to you. And we have got River, yeah, Doctor Master wants to see River Song back just so she can meet the 13th Doctor. I mean, yeah, I can't argue with that, really. Reese is wondering about the Rani. Yeah, could, what's her name? Get this right. Orsok, not Haswok, Orsok. Could she be the Rani? Maybe. I don't know. We've seen the Rani in the past with a Tetrap as a servant. Here, Orsok appears to have Anud as a servant, so there's a little parallel there. Perhaps. Could she be the Rani? I don't know. Yeah, who is Orsok? I'd personally put my money on Tek Sayun, but who knows? Who knows, really? Apparently, the name Ashleen, I think that's how you say it, means division or dream. Vision, sorry. Division. Vision or dream, according to Paul Malley. Very nice. Magnifica Carter. Hey Richard, what do you think the fugitive Doctor plays in all of the Flux? What role do I think she plays? Well, I guess when Orsock says that the Doctor is like responsible for the Flux, that's what she's talking about. You know, I think that the 13th Doctor, the fugitive Doctor did or was forced to do, or perhaps the Doctor isn't directly responsible. Perhaps there's a sort of tragic element to it where, the Doctor did something by accident to cause the Flux, or perhaps it wasn't even down to her at all, but perhaps it was sort of like a side effect of something she did. For example, perhaps it was a side effect of Tag-Tayun bringing the Timeless Child into our universe. Perhaps, she brought the Timeless Child into our universe, she extracted regeneration, and the Flux was like a side effect of that. The Doctor's responsible for it, but not sort of directly responsible, if that makes any sense. I need more water. So, we got Patatas Bravas. Apologies if I'm butchering your name there. I reckon Josh Carter may be the first Big Finish character to transition to the TV show. So Josh Carter, that's one of the original unit team members from the Big Finish series, right? Isn't it? Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, I think I know who you mean. There's him, and then there's Warren Brown's character. So the guy who played Jake, I think his name was, in Praxius, who is like on every Big Finish cover in this pose, doing that. There was him, and then there was what do you call him? Yeah, Josh Carter, as like the new characters in the Big Finish unit stuff, alongside Osgood and Kate. So yeah, it'd be cool if he made a transition. I mean, again, not holding out any hope personally, but it would be cool, or if they at least referenced him, that would be cool, just to show that the unit stuff, Big Finish unit stuff, hasn't been completely separate. Just to name drop him, or to name drop some of the characters, like in Night of the Doctor with the Eighth Doctor's companions. That'd be very nice. Jack Body. The fugitive Doctor was the Doctor incarnation associated with the Division. Yeah, I think that's pretty much a given by this point, really. I mean, some people are still saying she could be a Season 6B Doctor, and respectfully, believe that if you will, respectfully, I think the avenue they're going down is definitely the pre-Hartnell avenue, based on all the Timeless Children stuff they've established in Timeless Child. It would just not make any narrative sense for Christian to then go, oh, by the way, I've established all this stuff, but no, she's not a pre-Hartnell Doctor. She's a Season 6B Doctor between Troughton and Pertwee. So, yeah. And obviously the Division as well is a pre-Hartnell, what sort of ancient Gallifrey or Dark Times thing, which is obviously all before the timeline that we know. So, yeah, she was clearly part of that. Clearly pre-Hartnell Doctor as far as I'm concerned. What have we got? We have got... Just Dr. Master says, just letting you know that just letting Carvanista know, I'll start again, sorry. Just letting you know that Carvanista knows you want him dead. Let's see what this is about. I think it's something on Twitter I've just seen coming up. What have we got? Oh wow, that's dedication. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, so Carvanista now knows I want him dead. Fantastic. What have we got? Draw with Cameron Smith says he wants Yaz to confront the Doctor at the end of the series about all the secrets she's been keeping. Yeah, and the Doctor breaking down. Yeah, I can see that happening. I can't see them going down the route of sort of Yaz challenging the Doctor and like getting really angry with her. And I think the way it'll go is that, okay, perhaps, yeah, she might challenge the Doctor or whatever, but then the Doctor will sort of let her guard down and, like you say, break down in front of Yaz and sort of just confess everything, and like lean on her shoulder a bit, because the Doctor can't keep that guard up forever of sort of just ignoring everything and not responding to Yaz's questions and stuff. So yes, I can sort of see that scene happening at some point, maybe next week. Already like in my mind, there's a version of that scene. So I think that'll happen. I think that's a given, really. Doctor Master, yeah, that'd be cool if Jake from Praxius came into UNIT and started working for them. That'd be cool. And his husband as well, Adam, I believe he was called. If that little pair came into UNIT, that'd be really cool. Ian, thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching the stream. Glad you enjoyed it. And I hope you enjoyed the episode too. And thank you for all that. Very nice. We've got Alex Rooney with us. Hello. We've got Dr. Floyd. Hello. Yes, Alex Rooney. So Alex Rooney says that he's really excited to hear Sagan Akinola's UNIT theme, because he loved Murray Gold's UNIT theme, and he's wondering what he's going to do, what Akinola's going to do. That's one of the things that sort of I haven't really talked about myself, but it is something that I'm very excited for. But it's just sort of got overshadowed, I think, by everything else going on. So I haven't really devoted any like a video or a tweet or anything to it yet. But yeah, clearly UNIT is going to get its own theme. What is it going to be? I guess like there's going to be some drums in there, militaristic drums, maybe a bit like the Sontaran and Jadoon themes, and Sagan usually uses strings, so there's bound to be some strings in there as well, I guess. But yeah, and I hope it sounds awesome. I hope it's a cool theme, a little musical motif. That would be very nice. Lavish Isles. Sagan Akinola's militaristic themes are amazing, so I'm very excited for UNIT's theme. Couldn't agree with you more. What have we got here? We have got guitar. Yeah, Alex really thinks it could be guitar based. Yeah, that'd be cool. Jack Body, thank you for joining us. Very nice to have you with us. That goes for everybody that's still watching, really. The episode is on in 20 minutes now, 21 minutes, so not long left. We've got 35 viewers, I think. I haven't really checked any of this out. Let me just have a look. See if I can find the actual stream page. 34 watching, apparently. Oh, that's the advert's playing. That's very nice. Very nice. Very nice to see. I might do more of these in the future. Because it's quite useful if, this week, where I sort of ran out of time to do 3 videos for Survivors of the Flux, previewing that story, it's quite useful just to have this as a sort of backup option, really, to just sort of spitball stuff to people and to get something back from you guys as well, some interaction, which is always nice to have, and your thoughts and theories, and to discuss it all. So maybe we'll do another one of these before the Vanquishers at some point. I can't do it on the day itself, but maybe on the Saturday or earlier in the week, perhaps. And then going forward as well. Faulty TARDIS says there are a few Pre-Flux live streams going on today. Are there now? Let me just check in my subscription feed to see if I'm aware of any of them. No, I don't appear to have any of those other live streams in my subscription feed, so maybe I'm living on another planet or something. Another universe. Jack Body, yeah, great, thank you. Be up for more of these. So, yeah, I guess any other last minute predictions, thoughts, theories for this story. Because, in like 90 minutes there'll be no use to you anymore. So come on, let us hear your thoughts. Let's see what you've got to say. Your final predictions, final last ditch attempts to second guess what is going to happen in this episode. I mean, I guess there's going to be a big cliffhanger at the end. But beyond that, I don't know really. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. So many strands. I mean, again, to pick up on one thing, let's go back to units. Matt Strevens did a tweet today. A tweet about unit coming back. And it was this photo, and he said, unit fans have got lots to look forward to in tonight's episode, and not just the return of Kate. So, that got a lot of people talking, obviously, as it would, about what other surprises could be in store that are related to units. Could we be getting some other unit characters from the past making a reappearance? I mean, that's the sort of obvious takeaway, the obvious interpretation of that tweet. I mean, I guess as well it could just be something like Bessie making a return, or like loads of Easter eggs to previous unit episodes in the story. But the sort of phrasing of that would seem to imply something a bit bigger, I think, like a returning character. Now obviously it could be Osgood. That's the most obvious suggestion. It could be Osgood returning alongside Kate. Let's find the tweet. Here it is. This was the tweet here. Unit fans are in for a treat tonight, and not just the return of Kate Stewart. So, what could that be? What could it be? I mean, yeah. It's probably just... probably just Osgood. Who hasn't been confirmed to be in this episode. It's not been in it either way. It would be strange to sort of see Kate without Osgood. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's possible that, in that interim period with all the unit operations are suspended pending review or whatever, that Osgood just dropped off the radar at some point in that period, has gone off to do her own thing, and perhaps this new era of unit is not going to have her as Kate's right hand woman. But equally, it would be really nice to see her back. The only reservation I'd have about seeing her back, I think, is that she became so entwined with all the Zygon stuff from Series 9, the Zygon 2-parter and all that sort of stuff, where essentially there are two Osgoods. So it's very confusing in that regard. And so if they were to bring her back, there'd just be all that baggage about, which Osgood is it? Oh my god, Osgood is actually trending on Twitter. I've just spotted that. That's bonkers. Why? What? It's literally just people like speculating about whether she's going to be back or not. Oh wow. Yeah, I'm in two minds. I would love to see her again. I would love to see her cosplaying one of the other Doctors. But then there'd be all that Zygon stuff, all that baggage to deal with as well. And yes, they could just ignore it. They could just ignore the fact that there are two Osgoods and just literally just treat it as, one Osgood and not even mention the other one and all the Zygon stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It could go either way. They could do that. If they really want to have her back, I'm sure they could just, ignore all of the baggage and ignore all the backstory and just start fresh with her to a certain extent. Let's just see what's going on in the chat, because I'm going to have to end this pretty soon now, because obviously the episode is going to start in sort of 10 minutes, 15 minutes or so. So we have got Yeah, Draw with Cameron Smith says, I hope Yaz and Dan get a moment to decompress, this episode, good word there, decompress, and talk about what's happened over these past few weeks. Yeah, I can see that happening. Lots of people have been pointing out increasingly how sort of bizarre it is that the Doctor and Dan have spent so little time with each other. I don't think they've had any like one-to-one time with each other. It's always been either the Doctor, Yaz and Dan, or Dan by himself from All the Sontarans, and Once Upon a Time a bit as well, I guess, or Yaz and Dan together. We had that in the scene where they met in Halloween Apocalypse. We had that in, I'm trying to think when else we've had it. Well, last week as well, obviously, in Village of the Angels. They're getting paired together quite a bit, almost like Dan is Yaz's companion rather than being the Doctor's companion. In fact, Dan has probably spent more time with Yaz than the Doctor overall. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, actually. It's not something we're used to. It's just something different. It's a different type of companion relationship with the Doctor to what we've seen so far in the new series. But it's not necessarily a bad thing. And yeah, it gives Yaz more to do because she's got her own companion and she's got to look after Dan and kind of step up to the mark there. So it's all good. It's all good. Love it. Force Dalek predicts that Unit will have something to do with the Division. Maybe, but I don't know. I can't see that on myself, but never say never. We have got Faulty TARDIS. Kate was first introduced in a Chibnall story, and it was her best, to be honest. So hope she's good in this. Yeah, I pretty much agree with that, really. I mean, I was trying to think back to sort of what I think of Kate, because I've always thought Kate's pretty damn awesome, pretty cool. But in terms of like her best moments or her best episodes, Para 3's up there. In like The Magician's Apprentice, she barely gets anything to do, which isn't great. Similar story in Death in Heaven, really, unfortunately. Like, it's great to see her, but she doesn't get much to do. She gets sort of kicked out of the plane and then just left lying in a graveyard. Because that reminds me as well, like in Zygon Inversion, the very last thing we see of Kate for 6 years, or 7 years, is a shot of her lying on the floor unconscious, having just had her memory wiped after the whole war speech from the 12th Doctor. So it's a sort of recurring theme with Kate, that she either, I don't know, falls to sleep or stuff, or on the floor, or doesn't get much to do. I mean, in the first part of that story, to be fair, in Zygon Invasion, I do love all the sort of badass stuff where she's sort of in that foreign town with a gun and sort of going around like James Bond and investigating Zygon stuff all by herself. Really loved that. I think she worked really well there, just by herself. And if anything, that's sort of what I want to see today in tonight's episode. Just her by herself, maybe with Osgood at her side, maybe not. But certainly without the Doctor, because I guess she gets to shine the most when she's without the Doctor, when she's without the companion to a certain extent as well, because in The Magician's Apprentice she very much got overshadowed by Clara. Clara's got all the good lines basically and all the good stuff to do in finding the Doctor, because they couldn't both do it. So yeah, I have been a fan of Kate so far, but in many ways, I sort of hope that her best days are not behind us. I hope that the best from Kate is still yet to come. And, in these following, these last 5 episodes of this era, she's presumably going to appear in at least 2 of them, maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 5. So, yeah, I would say I've got high hopes for some good quality Kate Stewart content in those episodes. What have we got? We've got some more suggestions about what might be happening with units. Some people suggesting Martha Jones coming back, because obviously she worked for units. The last time we saw her, she was actually freelance with Mickey. Noel Clarke obviously is a no-go. He's not going to be back. Martha could be back, but yeah, as who pointed out, Alex Rooney, Freema, is based in the US these days, so that could be difficult. Faulty TARDIS suggests Benton, Mike Yates, Harry Sullivan, Liz Shaw, Joe Grant. Well, yeah, okay. So, I mean, there's only a couple of those that you could actually do because of people still alive. But Joe would be great to have Katie Manning back. Benton as well. John Levine has such a sort of an enthusiasm for the character and for the show, so it'd be great to see him back. But then it begs the question as to what, at their age, with the best respects and best of intentions, what they'd be able to do. They wouldn't be able to sort of run around the place and do lots of actiony stuff. So not too sure about that, but we'll see. But let's just read the last few comments. Yeah, Yaz is... Dan, sorry, is basically Yaz's companion by this point. I agree with that. Which, again, is nice, is fine. Don't mind that. Elemental Jedi thinks that... thinks that Dan will be confirmed to be evil, as we've all suspected. Mr. Beans thinks Dan is an undercover Dalek. Fantastic. Well. Okay, we've got like 8 minutes to go now, so I'm going to end this stream. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for my reaction to this story, my review/reaction, as soon as possible after the episode is finished. Go and watch all the recent stuff I've been putting out, if you haven't already as well. That'd be nice. But don't watch it right now, because Doctor Who's on, obviously. Get off the internet, and yeah, thanks a lot for coming along for the ride. Might do more of these at some point, depending on various things. We'll see how things go. But yeah, I'm going to end the stream now. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Enjoy the last few minutes of Country File, and then enjoy Doctor Who soon afterwards. So, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye for now.